Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lips podcast. This is Brian, joined by my co-host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts and perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. Welcome to part 4 of our series, Wedded, Bliss, and Other Lies. This topic is going to be the honey-do list, Chronicles.
And before we hop on in, we just like to say welcome. For those if this is your first time being with us, and if you've been rocking with us for a while, we appreciate you. Please search Marriage is Tougher on any social media channel to connect with us and go even deeper in the conversation. Or you can go to marriagestougher.com if you'd like to leave a comment for us, hit the contact form, or if you'd like to be a guest, hit that same contact form, leave us your information and what you'd like to talk about, and we'll work on getting you on the podcast. Again, we appreciate you. If this hits in any way, please share with someone, and if you could like or subscribe to our channel, that would keep you up to date with whenever we drop a new episode or anything we're coming out with. We appreciate you. Now let's get into the show.
Yeah. Man, this honey-do list never ends, bro. It never ends. And it's funny because I think at times I see light at the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel never ends. Right? I feel like my mind tricks itself into seeing the light, but it's really just like the light of a task ending. And then it's followed up by another task. So the tunnel gets extended.
Yeah, I think the funny thing about that is, or for me, the honey-do list hits different because it's really things that I should probably want to do as well, right? But I don't want to. So yeah. I think that's why, like, I can speak for me. It's like, okay, this list is legit, and I should probably do this. So, like, there's no hemming about it because, like, it's just like, yeah, you should get this done. It's like, okay, we're in agreement. So we should probably get this done. And so what's my role on this list? Because you don't have a list because you're already doing things, right? Like, I need a honey-do list to be motivated. Sorry, I'm self-reflecting and really taking ownership of why this is a thing.
Yeah.
And for me, I need a list to get things done, or I won't do it, or I'll just sweep things under the rug, which I'm working on getting better at. But that's why I need a honey-do list.
Bro, I hear you. Because without, let's call it a physical list. Without a physical list, it's like it's almost like the tasks don't exist. Or at least I can convince myself of that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like, you didn't tell me that you wanted that done. So what's funny about this is what you said anyway. There was this video I saw, and you're bringing back a memory from like probably a couple of years ago. This was a couple doing a skit, I think. And I forget what the specific task was, but they're going at it back and forth. And the wife says to the husband, I want you to want to do this. And he's like, why would I want to do this? Nobody wants to do that. And that just killed me, bro. Because like, that's so real, right? And it's funny because sometimes I try to convince myself that I should want to do this, right? And it's less about wanting to do that. It's more about wanting to fulfill my wife's desires, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's how it comes through is like, man, if I could just be more proactive about doing these things that we've already had conversations about, I know she wants them done, or if it's something that she typically does, I could take this off her plate because I have time, but now I've chosen to just go veg on the couch for a little bit, right? Life could probably be smoother.
Right.
But I know, like, I don't want to do that. I'm tired. Everybody's tired. Like, we've been going all day, right? Like, So then, as couples, we convince ourselves, all right, you know what? Let's do this. 2 weeks from now, on Saturday, we're going to do this. We're going to make a project of this. But you know what makes a project easier? When you did little pieces leading up to that Saturday. But no, let's just dump it all on one day and then boom. Right. And we trick ourselves into thinking like, all right, now that Saturday's passed, it's done. But it's like it's just gonna build back up to whatever we need to do again. Like,
right. But is it?
Like equate it to not cutting the grass on time. Right. And now the grass is double the height.
Yeah.
And it takes more effort to get it done. Right. Like, have you ever been in the spot where the grass is so high that you have to lift, like tilt the lawnmower back because this one spot grows faster than the others? You got to like lay it down on top of the grass, and or your lawnmower is going to shut off on you.
That part. It's too high. It's too thick. The blade's not sharp enough. You're out here.
Right.
That's a perfect analogy, though. It is like you're trying to lift the lawnmower and put it on the thing.
Yeah. And if you had just cut it on time, you could have just whipped around the yard, been done. But now we got to wait till it's 6-8 inches tall. And now it takes me 10 seconds per width of lawnmower to get through it. So what should have taken me a half hour is now 3.5 hours.
That's it, man.
I need some answers out here. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Well, you answered it yourself. One, we don't want to.
Well, there is.
Right. The two is we really only do it because we want to make our wives' lives easier. So like, where on the scale does that motivate you? Right. And that's like a fluctuation of motivation, because some days it's like, man, I really want to get my wife going and, you know, I should be a good husband, blah, blah, blah. And other times I'm like, just like you said, man, I'm tired too. I don't want to do none of this.
Right.
And so that's why we don't get it done. Or we find some reasons, and not necessarily excuses, but like legit reasons on why at this moment we can't do it. And so, like you said, if we just take bite-sized pieces when we can do it and just do it in that moment, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, do that thing and put it towards getting the project done. So, but honey-do lists are more than just projects, right? It could be an errand. It could be a small thing. And it just depends, right? I was thinking about projects that my wife likes to do. How she frames it, and this is funny on the Chronicles, is she'll be like, well, let's just take an hour to do this thing. We have an hour to do this thing. But we both know that her time frames are not always accurate.
Okay.
And second of all, we know that once we get into it, like, we generally finish to completion. So if this is going to be a 4-hour thing and we start with an hour, like, just know that's what's going to happen. So I think it's funny that that's the tactic that she uses, and that's the tactic I fall for, in air quotes, because it's always something like, yeah, let's get the basement together. And it's like, okay, let's work on it for an hour. All right, an hour. All right, our evening's gone. I already know our evening's gone. So I'm already ready. But it's that agreement to let's just do it. And then I know what happens. Like if it's the garage, it's like, okay, it's spring or it's fall. Like, let's get this garage ready. It's like, all right, let's take an hour to get that going. Just look at it like, is this really an hour or is this like an hour? Like, which one is
hilarious, bro? I learned that tactic in sales. Like when you're doing cold calls, right? You call up a company, you get to the decision maker finally, and I mean, just using the cleaning company as an example, right? Like, hey, I'd like to get on your calendar to show you how I provided this solution for companies XYZ in your area, right? Um, can I just get 10 minutes of your time to show you how I did that? Knowing full well I'm trying to come in there and do a full presentation, show you exactly what we offer, right? Build rapport. All this. You can't do that in 10 minutes. But we bait them in with, hey, this is only going to take 10 minutes. If I have my way, I'm going to be there for an hour, hour and a half. I'm going to do a full facility tour. I'm going to show you, point out all your pain points that you may or may not know exist. I'm going to get you to admit to them. And then I want you to sign on the line. All in 10 minutes.
Right. Right.
Fall into my trap.
So you understand the honey-do list?
Yeah, I do. You got me thinking now what it is that I need to do when I get home.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. So we have at the front door, which I'm bringing this up again, the front door, a like a shoe rack,
Mm-hmm.
and then the top of it is a coat rack. And currently, the top of this thing is real flimsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you put heavy coats on there, it just wasn't meant for heavy coats. But my family, God bless them, keep putting heavy coats on it. So this thing has gone from being perfectly erect to leaning like this. And it irks me so bad. So without any prompting, I purchased a wall mounted coat rack. So I'm just going to take the top of this thing off. The shoe rack could stay where it is. I'm going to mount this to the wall and we'll be good going forward. It's still sitting in the box. It came in like probably 4 days ago.
Tough.
So that's number one. I got to get that. But I think now that I'm realizing why I haven't done it, it's because it's not just planning, right? It's getting the tools out, making sure I have the right fasteners and whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I now understand that, I'm gonna have to drill some holes. So no, that the shoe rack can't just stay there. I'm gonna have to move things. It's gonna be clean up and dust and like, man, the idea of it sounds simple. But when you start thinking about actually executing on the task, you're like, I don't know, is there something I could do better with my time? Or is there something that is less involved that
Right.
will make my wife feel like I was productive today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah. Sometimes the planning and the knowing what it's going to take is like, I'll do that another day.
Yeah.
Which is why the list is so prevalent. I mean, for me, I do like to check things off. Hey, got that done. Just give me a list. I'm good. Right. So I welcome the honey-do list in that regard. When it's say, hey, run some errands. We need this for the house, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, like, okay, this is going to take a couple hours. And I'm like, can I beat that time? Right. Let me get to where I need to go. But gamify it. Right.
Right.
So if I get a list like that, I know that when it's done, it's actually done for the day. There's no hidden setups. There's no extra things to the list. Like, no. Can you go and run these things, grab all these things, do these things, come back home, set? Most of the time.
Okay.
So, you think it's done, boom, honey-do list is great. But there's always the audible of the honey-do list where you're either getting more calls while you're out or there's something that me as husband forgot needed to happen at home once the list was done. So me walking in like, it's done. I'm going to go sit down or do something else that is not involving my brain or my body. Right? I'm just going to sit here.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh, we have this thing to go to. Or, oh, we said we were going to clean up this area, or oh, it rained yesterday and you still have to cut the grass because it's springtime and it grows every 2 days. It's like, oh no. Like that is when the honeydew list goes out off the rails.
Tell me how much it hurts when it doesn't get presented to you like that, that there is something else that needs to be done, but it comes out more or less like, so are you going to get in the shower? Or like, what do you mean? And then it hits you like, oh, dang it.
Yeah,
just
it's
that
that.
down. Give me like, can I get 5 minutes? We don't have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You need to get in the shower now.
You need to get in the shower to go like, wait, what? No. Or no, the killers, you get in the shower, right? You ran around, you cut the grass, whatever. You get in the shower and you start to put like comfy clothes on. And it's like, we're going to wear that? Or like, why didn't you shave? Like, we have this. Like, no. I just... Oh, that's a tough one. Because that one is like, you're really about to be like, I'm shutting it down mode. Like, where are my sweatpants? Where's my t-shirt? I'm out of here. Then boom. Nope. You gotta pick out a real outfit.
Accomplished.
Yeah.
She about to come over here and love on me. And why does she look upset?
Like, why are you dressed so nice?
Yeah. Where
are you going? You mean, where are we going?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
P.S. I want you to somewhat match my colors. Like, man.
You realize I'm going to have to break the iron out for that, right?
Right. Oh, the iron. Some people love to iron. I'm not that guy.
I really have to be in the mood for it, man.
And it's the principle of knowing like it should be wrinkle free and the iron will do this. And it's like, do I really? There's a couple layers to that. One, the layer that should be is, do you really want to look like you have wrinkled clothes? I'm past that point. But I should, on the inside, that should motivate me enough. But it really comes down to, how do I want to present as like a father?
Okay.
And do I really want to have this conversation about needing to iron a shirt with my wife? Or article, like, you know, sometimes you just got to pick your battles or pick your conversations or pick a new article.
There it is. There it is. Yeah, man. The honeydew list. All right. So we're up against the clock here. I think it is logical for us to end by asking each other the question, what is your top priority honeydew list when we get off of recording this episode?
You trying to put me out there?
I'm about to put myself out there.
Well, at the time of this recording, my wife is out of town. So technically, I can push any honeydew list to next week.
Are you going to go the surprise and delight route?
The thing that needs done, I tried to surprise and delight her with a couple years ago and ended up failing and making more work for the both of us.
Oh, no.
So, story time where honeydew list goes wrong, right? So, we had an issue in our the regular bath, the full bath that's in our house. My son ended up slipping and falling and like landing on the soap dish but it's like a soap dish that was like connected to the tile, like grouted in and all that. So it's like connected, like never had any issues. So I'm like, all right, what I'm going to do is like, okay, I know it's on the outside of the tile. So if I just slowly like hammer this porcelain soap dish, like it will fall apart. And then we can wipe the tile off. It'll be like it never existed. Put your soap on, whatever. We'll get some, whatever, ones that can help on the side of the tub. Little did I know, or little did I remember, that our house is over 20 years old and the bathroom has never been redone.
Mm.
So, as I start to try to chip away on said porcelain soap holder, the tile decides that it's going to come off as well. So, we now have tile coming off the bathroom wall. And once you get into that, you can now see what is behind the tile and
Right.
realize that not all of the grout and all the sealing is working. And there's now some mold, some wet spots, some things that need done. So now we have, from the 4 tiles that I thought the soap dish was connected to on the wall, now it's like 8 that need to come off and be redone. And like, so now it's a whole project. So she goes away with a working bathroom and comes back with an unfunctional bathroom. And her being from a family of contractors, she knows what to do more than I do. I'm looking things up like, oh my gosh, I need to get this done. She's like, no, let's do this. But so now it's like a week project. Bathrooms out of commission, whatever. Um, Fast forward to this week. It is earlier this week. Bella comes out the bathroom and is like, some of the tiles fell. Not the tiles that we replaced, right?
Oh,
Because
come
those
on.
it's a different set closer to that line up right where the tile and the tub meet.
Okay.
So we have decommissioned that, and you have to wait for it to dry out and all that stuff so you can see what's going on. So I technically could take care of those 5 tiles today, but I do not come from a background of contractors. So, and I would like to have the work verified by the other owner of this house
Yeah.
before I feel like I've completed the work and made it worse. So I'm going to leave that item on the honeydew list, which it should be on my list to do, but I will punt that until it'll be a week project, not a weekend project. When she gets back, we'll tackle it together. It'll be done great. It'll be fine. So that's the top thing. Otherwise, it's normal cleanup stuff, making sure the house looks good. Actually, my garage really needs done, but it's too cold to really do. So
Mm.
that's my list. Basically, nothing's getting done. I'm putting it out there
All right.
in the
As long as you
podcast
said it,
world.
because I was about to call you out.
Yeah, nothing's getting done
Yeah.
besides the regular cleaning. So,
Yeah.
when mom's out of town, you got to make sure it looks great when she comes home.
Facts.
So,
My top priority, I don't know if I shared this with you or not, but the municipality that I live in no longer collects our glass for recycling, which means, yeah, that face,
what?
which means I now have to collect our glass and go drop it off, which is wildly inconvenient. And I would rather pay more taxes than have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel sorry for the people who don't have trucks. But I think for the fact that I do have a truck, we allow more glass vessels to accumulate than
that
should,
makes sense. Mm-hmm.
right? Because I just take the barrels and throw them in the back, and it is what it is. But that is my top priority: is go get rid of that glass. So I'm going to commit to that. That'll be the very first thing I do when I go home. And then it's the coat rack, and then the normal cleaning things. Or if I'm being the husband of husbands, I will go and consult my wife and ask her what she wants done.
That part. Right. That sounds like a honey-do list, but not. It's like a just do list.
Or
Oh,
else.
right. Oh, man. Well, I think that's it. I thank you guys for listening to our episode. Hopefully, you got some laughs out of it. Hopefully, it resonated with you in your life and you can connect with some form or version of it. If you do, let us know. Let us know what's on your honey-do list. At the time of listening, you can let us know by searching Marriage is Tougher on any social media platform and just hitting us in the DMs there. You could go to marriageistoffer.com on the contact form. Just put honeydew on the form and let us know what you have going on. If you'd like to be a guest, hit that contact form, leave us your information. And please give us review us, rate us, subscribe so you can get more content, see where we're going with this show. We appreciate you. We thank you again for taking the time out to listen. And until next time, we'll check with you later.
Peace.